right, welcome back to the Loah Pod. You already know I'm your host, Loah, and my co host, Christina McGavin, the Enlightened Housewife. Thank you for tuning
Hello.
in.
Hello. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so this is our fourth episode, trying to get this content pushed out this year. This is going to be our year, you guys. So y'all stay on us and rock with us, man. We're going to make sure we try to move at least 2 videos a week for you.
Yes,
So
please
this
be
video,
patient.
yes, definitely be patient. With this video, I honestly thought this would be something everybody could enjoy. This man has been known for some time now, and of course, everybody's aware he passed away. This is a big shout out to Kevin Samuels and Kevin Samuels' family, friends, everyone that's connected to him. We do appreciate what he has done, especially for the Black community on his messages. But lo and behold, my bestie here, my co-host, Enlightened Housewife, has not seen not one video
I have
of
not
Kevin
seen one. You know
Samuels.
what? I'm actually a little ashamed of myself that I've never seen any of his videos. So that's why I'm so excited today.
Right. And what's crazy is I know you're not the only one. There's so many people that probably haven't seen it. If it wasn't for my husband, I probably would have never even knew he existed as well, because he was margined more to the men when he
Right.
first came out on how to just be better men. And then a video went viral. Everybody's aware of the average at best video that went viral. I did have that clip as well, if you did want to check it out. But I wanted to show you something that I felt had more of an impact with his messages. Um, that made him as famous as he is now. RIP, Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off with that, and we'll just watch it and talk along with it as well.
Let's do
With the one, the only, the shark himself, Mr. Damon John. Appreciate it, my brother. Out here doing what we do because we are just getting started. Kevin Samuels did not come up with the concept of high value man. It's been around for a long time, just like alpha male and beta male and all this other stuff. What I did is I put some parameters and a definition to it that lined up with a lot of my clients and a lot of the men that I know and a lot of the women who say they want certain men. And we spent the better part of a year and some change figuring this out. Uh, I'm going to look down and the likes aren't over 2,500. I'm going to shut the chat off. We spent the better part of a year and a half discussing the concept of a high value man. Now, the funny thing is, many people may disagree with my quote unquote version of a high value man, and that's French toast, that's fine. But what you rarely ever hear is someone saying that the concept of a high value man is not true. Men know there is a ranking amongst us. And we know that in order to compete and get the things we want as men, we must rank. Men aren't stupid. Men aren't dumb. We know these things. So, if that's true, then the converse must be true as well. If there is a high value man, there also must be a high value woman. Not necessarily. A woman that's highly valuable is not is not necessarily a woman who is highly wanted or desired. See, there's a desired woman and a woman that's in demand. On Instagram, you can find a lot of women that are desired. Oh my God. You can go many places and see women who are desired. But just like money alone does not make a man high value, being desired alone does not make you uh, really in demand. So if there's a high value man, there also must be a most wanted woman or a high demand woman. Pick your poison. Now, what are some things that a high demand woman need to have? Glad you asked. Let's get into it. Glad you asked. Let's get into it. Okay. Uh, Let me also start reading some of these super chats too. I'm gonna do my best to. When I'm on the road, guys, it's much harder to stay on top of all this stuff. So I'll do my best to read the super chats and things as they go. Um, let's see. But if you want to talk on the platform, you need to be a member and also hit that Patreon. All right. So here we go. All right. A woman that's in high demand, a high demand woman or a most wanted woman, similar to a high value man, these are women that across the board in any economy, any system of governance, anytime on in history, these women were traditionally typically sought after. They were most wanted. High demand, meaning if you have a demand for something, let's say something everybody can use, an iPhone. An iPhone is too common.
Watch.
Luxury items. That's not even. I don't want to use that because that's not most people. Things that are in high demand typically are in short supply. Okay, basic economics. Things that are in high demand tend to have supply issues. Okay, because if the demand is high and the supply is high, I don't want to get too far into economics. Let's look at it this way. If you're in high demand, that's cool, but you also got to be wanted. See, toilet tissue is in is in demand, and it's also wanted. Nobody wants to wipe their hand with twigs. I mean, like their butt with twigs on their hands. There has to be a mix of desirability, demand, and being just out wanted. The hierarchy of needs. And these women have typically been the most wanted women, the highest demand women. And get your pen and pencil out because here goes the lesson. Hit the super chat, get them up. Let's get them up because I'm about to teach. Ladies, if you ask yourself, are you a most wanted woman? Are you a most wanted woman? I know a lot of women think they are, but I'm gonna tell you, let's judge based upon the things that the kind of men you ladies want from a woman. Most wanted woman, high demand women.
Here, give me it.
First, it starts off above everything else with a mindset. You could be drop dead gorgeous. You could be feminine. You could be a literal Venus de Milo of a photograph of a sculpture. But if your mindset is jacked up, you may be desired, but you're not necessarily wanted or in demand.
Okay, Christine, I just want to stop it there because I think this is like a 30-minute video, but we're gonna still get into it. But just off what he said so far, you get where he's coming from. What is
Mm-hmm.
anything else to say about what he's saying?
Absolutely. And I agree with what he's saying so far.
All right, so I'll go ahead and let it continue because he has a lot of wisdom. I think that his life ended very soon. It shouldn't have happened so soon. But I'm gonna go ahead and let him continue so he can get in depth.
Yeah.
What you're wanted for, the demand for you may be physical. So the desirability of a woman, if it's on the physical, it's generally just for a short-term sexual whatever. When I say mindset, appreciate it, my friend. Appreciate it, folks. If you don't want your donation or support of the platform to be seen by everybody, I know there are a lot of people who watch the show, love the show. They're like, man, I don't want to get trolled. I don't want these crazy folks who hate you to be flaming me up. So hit the Cash App. That's how you support me without getting the backlash. Just hit the Cash App. Okay? A woman that's in high demand, a woman that's most wanted or in high demand, has a mindset. Well, damn, Kevin, that should go without saying. Yeah. But what is her mindset? Now let's get into it. Her mindset is three main things. She's cooperative, she's smart, and she's agreeable. See, all three of those things must be there. She must be smart, but a woman that's smart and disagreeable is not a woman that's in high demand. She's not a woman that's really wanted. A woman who's smart and cooperative, but not agreeable, is kind of useless because she'll only cooperate when she agrees. All the A woman who's cooperative and agreeable but not smart is also kind of just blind leading the blind. She must be smart, cooperative, and agreeable. Agreeable, cooperative, smart. Whatever you want to say, ACS. That's the basis of that mindset. Now I know a lot of folks are gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute, hold on, man. Oh, y'all been banging on femininity for the longest. I thought it was about the femininity." Uh, no. You can be feminine and not smart. What good? This is where the
I'm a
PhDs
PhD.
have an argument because there's book smart and there's common sense smarts. You want a blend of both because a woman that's in high demand or most wanted is going to be the mother of your children. She's going to be the one who guards the castle. She needs to be smart. She needs to be able to make decisions. She doesn't need to sit there and look like a pretty thing. So that when women talk about I just inspire my man, no. You don't just inspire a man by your beauty. Oftentimes men are inspired by a woman's intellect. It's how she chooses to show that intellect. Whether it's overbearing or whether it's done um, or whether it's done in a way that's palatable to his ego. Yes, yes, ladies, you're going to have to be palatable to a man's ego. If you don't want to do that, just go ahead and just exit stage left. You must be palatable to a man's ego, or this is a non-starter. If not, go get a lady, go get a girlfriend or something. I mean, but women have egos as well. Okay. All right. So here we go. A most woman has a mindset that's agreeable, cooperative, and above all, smart. I think smarts is more than anything else. I don't deal with women that aren't smart. You know, I'm a guy. This is my personal thing. I'm attracted to intelligence and beauty. So that's a rare mix because a lot of time, anyway. So if you have these things, kudos for you. And thing is, if a man is a high earner, top 10%, 5%, 3%, 1% percentage of that man is going to be dealing with things that he didn't deal with when he was a minimum wage earner. A woman needs to be able to manage all that as well. She can't just be sitting there waiting for marching orders. She needs to bring something to the table. And in this regard, a mindset. Her mindset is so important. And there are other things that can go into a mindset, but I'm talking about the basics. The dough, the sauce, the cheese. Basis of the pizza. I'm not talking about everything that goes on the pizza. I'm talking about the basis. The basics of the pizza. Okay. What is the next thing in women who are in most demand? What is the next thing? Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess what is the next thing? Uh, we need another 800 likes, guys. I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. I'm gonna shout out the chat room.
Okay, Christina, do you have an idea what it might be? The next best things for the complete the woman pizza.
The woman pizza. All right. So he's got the bases, he's got the dough, he's got the cheese, he's got the sauce. Why am I having a mind blank? You tell me, Lo. Why am I not able to
I,
think right now?
I went straight to like discipline because I was thinking of myself and my situation. To have those three things and then you're disciplined yourself, it's going to, I think, enhance everything else.
Mm.
So that I've never seen this clip. I just the title of it. I wanted to get something raw. I know a lot of people always review his clips and everything like that, and then people don't really get a good idea of where he's coming from for a lot of his information. So I got this full clip, and I've never really seen this one.
Right.
Watched
Yeah,
a
I
lot
got
of his content, but
yeah.
that's my guess. Probably not, but my
I'm trying
guess.
to make a guess myself. I got Mila over here like distracting me as well, so I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
I'm trying to take a guess myself as well. So he's talking about women that are smart, that are what were the other ones? Smart,
Cooperative,
cooperative, and
cooperative, and agreeable.
I want to say patient. I don't know. I'm going to say patience. I think I'm probably wrong too. I'm probably way off, but I think being, a woman that he's speaking of requires a lot of patience. Let's see. Let's see what he says.
Ooh, all right, that's a good one. Okay, let's see.
The next thing in a most wanted woman or a high demand woman. She must be fit.
Huh.
I know a lot of women are going to balk at this, but listen to what I'm saying before you start complaining.
That's crazy because it kind of fits with the discipline thing because discipline, you got to be disciplined, with what you eat and how you carry
Mm-hmm.
your mind. Your discipline will help with your smartness because you're disciplining your mind to certain information to keep it developing. You're disciplining, your agreeableness is not to fight back. That's and then his being fit, that is always a form of discipline. Always a form of discipline, having to be fit.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that we're in a society now where everybody thinks that being 300 or 400 pounds is supposed to be okay, and they're supposed to be the healthiest ones over somebody that's 150 pounds that's been busting their butts in the gym. How we got
Right.
there, I'll never know. But it's it shows a lot. What comes with the discipline of working out and maintaining fit, it takes a lot of mental fortitude for it as well. When I go to the gym and everything like that, to be able to zone your mind out, to not want to have any interruptions or distractions, and break your body to be sore so that way it develops better muscles. It's just like what you do to your brain when you take in information, you're reading books, you're filling it with information, and you learn that information to break certain codes or aspects of what you could be seeing or what could be happening. It's a definite, I think, that a lot of people in our society are not aware of, that fitness shows that you are capable of other things. You're
Right.
capable of being smart. You're capable of being agreeable because you agree to something difficult by being fit. Cooperative because you can maintain things. You can obey the structure of not eating fatty foods and not, um, neglecting that and falling into bad habits to where you don't maintain your fitness. So that's it. That's a good one. I didn't think he was gonna say fit, but
It
it,
is
it
a
kind of
good one. And if I'm being honest, though, I actually think that I liked your reply a little bit better as the discipline because fitness is an aspect of discipline, but I think discipline can carry you further than what fitness can. Um, and I'm sure he's going somewhere with this. This is just my own input, but discipline reminds me a lot of like what I'm trying to go through right now. Like I'm on this spiritual journey, I'm a woman of faith, and I've been really trying to tune into that a lot more. And I've been noticing that I lack in discipline in certain areas. And I feel like the Lord has been trying to tell me like the reason why you're lacking in discipline or and the reason why it's so important, like discipline in general, like it helps us fight our flesh, right? Like we like things that aren't good for us. Like I like things that aren't good for me. Everyone does. And so when that discipline comes in, we're able to really understand that. Like, okay, you know what? Just because I like something doesn't mean that it's healthy for me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing it. So like it's always like we're at a fight in the flesh and the spirit, you know, kind of thing. It's always like a war. So like that discipline really comes in. That discipline, please, it makes it a lot easier to be able to follow what we follow. If we
Right,
continue to keep that discipline, and I don't know, I think you're really going somewhere with that. Like discipline kind of ties all those things together. Like I feel like you can't
right,
have cooperation, you can't be agreeable unless you are disciplined.
right.
So I feel
Yeah.
like that really ties it all in. I want to see where he's going with this though.
And I think your answer is well helped. Patience. You know, people always are looking for something to happen overnight. I used to want just me to lose weight overnight. I think everybody that if
Same.
it was possible would want that, you know,
Right.
would want that. But patience has to come along with everything else because when you're disciplined and you're building, you know that there's an end goal to it. You got to be patient with that as well. That the end goal that you're working towards. You know, so I think we did good with the answers on that one.
Yeah, and if we want to go even a little further with it, patience is almost, I guess, a part of discipline as well.
Mhm. Right.
So yeah, we weren't too far off.
Right. Okay, let's continue.
Like,
Physically fit, mentally fit. Physically fit, she must be in good shape. Why? Because fitness uh, is about two things. Well, about three things. I'm sorry. Three things, the three D's: discipline, dedication, and discernment.
there you go.
Yeah, okay. So
There it is.
discipline. Yeah. Yeah. So okay, that definitely answered it there, but I'll let him go on. I know that I want to keep stopping here this so that way our voice it is with the video, just playing him all out. I think we could probably get, you know, have an issue with that with YouTube, but yeah, so
Discipline, dedication, and discernment. A woman that is fit is a disciplined woman. She has the discipline to stick to a diet, a workout routine, to follow through on something that she starts. The discipline, she is self disciplined. This is the thing that separates a high demand woman, a most wanted woman, from a lot of other women who are just out here frolicking. She is disciplined. She goes to bed, she gets up, she has a routine. She is disciplined. She's not rigid, but she is disciplined. She is also dedicated, and that dedication is to her to her discipline, to her mindset, to her man, to her family, to her job, whatever it is, she is dedicated. That translates into loyalty, accountability, foundational things that a man can rely upon of a woman to be there. A woman who's disciplined and dedicated is a woman that a man does not need to watch his six all the time. And she is discerning. You can be disciplined and not discerning. This is when you see a lot of women who you might think have a shot at this, but then on Instagram, half their pictures are with their ass to you. Discerning, discernment. This is what's going to be, whether it's your children, she's going to have to teach the children discernment. She's going to have to know discernment. Oh, I'm not going to go this way. I'm going to go that way. I'm not going to go out with these girlfriends, or I'm not going to go to this party. I'm not going to go to these things. This is a woman that does not have to be told what she just knows. Well, that's not a good look. That doesn't fit with who I am. What? No, no, no. Discipline, but not rigid, dedicated, and discerning. Now we're talking about a woman. Okay? Somebody asked how do they turn their hyenas into a lion pride. You can't. That's something else. That's something completely different.
Yeah, so he hyenas, um, hyenas is a term that they would use now, because they're matriarchal. I don't know if you're aware that hyenas are led by the woman hyena.
I did not know
And
that.
yes, my husband, I swear, if you was to take him to the zoo, he would be your tour guide. He knows so much. I just try to figure out how his brain can hold so much information. He teaches me about a lot of animals, and I think that's why our kids love animals. But hyenas are very matriarchal. So are elephants. Elephants are a matriarch as well. And it's funny because with hyenas, I watch a lot of documentaries with my daughter because she loves to watch documentaries on animals. And with hyenas, them being the ones that always try to eat the scraps that the pride leave behind,
Hmm.
explains like, how society is when you have women in control. The hyenas, the matriarch, and they're not even in the top of the food chain. The lion is when it comes down to the jungle. He's the top of that food chain, unless a bigger animal can take him down. And hyenas will always wait until the lions and the pride is done eating to actually eat the scraps, and it kind of coincides with just how structure is shown. When you have somebody that you have the lion that is the lead of a pride, he can have so many women, lionesses, so to speak, that they do the hunting, everything's organized, they tend to the children, to the cubs together and everything like that. And um but in the matriarch, you have the hyenas that lead can only steal. They can only steal what's left. They can only take from
Isn't
what's
that
already
so
there,
fitting for how
isn't
society
it?
is today?
Isn't it? So
So fitting.
I just find it amazing. I think you can learn a lot from just the animal world as well. We're considered animals, and it's a animalistic world for us. We just have the brains to be able to function more in a culture way, and more civilized. But you can relate to a lot of the structures. And definitely the lion and his pride is going to be a good example of how you can have things work better than being the hyena in the world that has to
Right.
try to sneak around and steal other people's stuff and steal other people's food just to survive and eat scraps and bones. But it
Right.
is
And
what it is.
and
That's
lurks
what.
around. Yeah, they just lurk around society. Try. Yeah, I totally can understand that. And like the lion pride are always well respected, you know.
Right.
I don't know. It's funny that we're talking about this actually, because I was just on Facebook the other day and like this video came up, or no, it was like a meme, and it was like a lioness, and it said she's only strong because of who stands behind her, and it was her mate, you know, like standing behind her. And
Right.
of course you gotta have the people in the comments like, you guys are aware that she's the one that gets the food, right? Like, oh my gosh, like lady, you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, because the lion of the pride literally protects all of them from everything. They protect
Right.
them from other lions. They protect their cubs because, you know, a lot of, I'm sure you know this, like if another lion comes in and he tries to take over that pride, all of those cubs are getting killed. So like the lion, the structure is it's based with him. Like it all starts with him, and the lionesses respect him and they feed him just like we do. I love my
Right.
husband. I respect my husband. I feed my husband. He supplies us with protection, with aid, with love, with companionship, with respect, with discipline. You know, like my husband provides all that. All I do is provide him with some food. So like it's just, I don't know. I kind of just it, you know, it all correlated. Wanted to throw that out there.
Yep, and that's the thing too. That's another thing I think a lot of people get misconstrued, and because of course you're gonna have like an influx of women that are modern that think that they can turn into transit traditional women by just doing that, just to cook. There's so much that we have of value to our husbands than just being able to put a pot and some and a pan on a stove, So like um I've seen women that has tremendous cooking skills, way better than my skills, and still they're alone, And so it's not that that would be what we can be as value. Just like you
Right.
were saying, pride, the pride. You know, they do, okay, yeah, they do hunt and stuff. They actually let the lion eat first, and then they
Mm-hmm.
go as he eats. And they have the respect of him being able to know that, okay, if I can't take down this animal, he's gonna come. Or if this another lion comes over to this pride, he's going to protect us all. There's a good understanding in that dynamic, that I might not do as much that he has to sacrifice for, but it holds value to him because what he's willing to do for it.
Right.
So it's an amazing structure that we have, me and you, our lives. And a lot of women think that, okay, well, let me just go ahead and make him a sandwich and that's all it's going to take. There's a lot more value to it as well. Like he said, can you be disciplined? Can you be fit? Can you be
Discerning? I think that's a huge one,
right?
especially in today's era with what's going on, and just how women have this mentality that, like, no, I should be able to go to the club. Just because I'm in a serious relationship for 2+ years, or just because I'm engaged, or just because I'm married, doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to go to a club and dress like a whore and dance with men and drink all night and party. Like, that's not a thought that would ever cross my mind. I have children now. I have a husband now. I have absolutely no business going to clubs. And it never really made any sense to me why women do that when they are taken, or when they are in a happy relationship. Um, because if you think about it, like, the reason why women do go out to places like that is because they're trying to attract attention for themselves. So it's like, why would any man sit back and be okay with his woman going out to the club with all of her girlfriends? So
Right.
discernment is extremely important. And I love that he said discernment, because um, that's a huge piece, like,
Mm-hmm.
people don't sit back anymore and think of those things. Like, well, how's my partner going to feel? Like, for me, like, my husband, it's not that he allows me to have relationships, but, like, I still ask, like, when my girlfriends and
Right.
I like to get out of the house. He understands that I'm a stay-at-home mom. It's extremely challenging at times with 3 little girls. So he knows I need my time. But I don't ever say, hey, I'm going to my girlfriend's tonight. Hey, I'm going to Danielle's tonight. I say, babe, do you mind if I go out tonight? Like, are we free tonight, or am I able to get out? And he always says yes. But if he were to say, Tina, like, I kind of needed you to stay home tonight and take care of this or that, like, I would, and it would be no issue. And I'd be like, okay, I'll just go out tomorrow. Um,
Right.
so being able like, discern what your man says, it's always for our benefit if you have the right man. Like, my husband will never tell me to do something or not to do something just to do it or not to do it. There's always a purpose behind it, and he's always looking out for my best interest. And that goes back for as far as I can remember. When we first started dating, I was just like the women that he's talking about, that did want to go out, and I didn't understand why he got so upset with me. But now it's like, I've been completely transformed because of him, and I'm capable of seeing now how twisted my mentality was. I wasn't physically or I wasn't mentally fit. Good job, baby. I don't know. I just really, I really like, I can really understand on a deep level what this man is saying. I think one reason is because I'm living that lifestyle now, but also because I lived a completely different lifestyle before I'd met my husband. Now, that was almost a decade ago. So, but still, like, I lived 2 lives in one, and I can really relate to everything that he's saying, because I was that woman, and now I'm the woman he's speaking of now. If that makes
Right.
sense.
Right. Yes. It's I don't understand why that is a problem. You don't know it. I do. It's a problem because women are way more selfish than we are.
Mm.
Even we're originally selfish. I think we have a selfishness in us by nature. But we have gotten this inflated ego to make us even more selfish, to where they don't even consider their partners at all. They just
Right.
expect to be entitled to everything that he's already supposed to do in the traditional realm of things, and they're not supposed to have to respect or honor anything that he does, even though he does that for them. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the problem, because if you can't sit, we really have to ask the question on, is it okay for you to go out to a bar or to a club where a bunch of drunk guys would be at, dressed this way? It should that be okay with your husband? For them to think it's okay just shows that they could care less. Because if you honestly need to know that, I think we're all aware that if we're going into an environment that has a lot of men around, a lot of alcohol, that there's going to be a situation where they want to approach us. I think we all know that. So if you're comfortable with this, and then you are going to wear revealing clothing as well, knowing this, then you're enticing them on purpose. And that's why men don't trust women that still go out. But women want to look at it as, oh, well, he's trying to be controlling. How? When he's really trying to protect you. And you shouldn't be that
Just
dumb.
about
And
to
that's
say
what he
that.
means by smart. You gotta be smart. Like if you don't have a smart woman, then I'm always at risk. The man's always going to be at risk. And that's how the men look at it. Like, if you're not smart enough to make, common sense decisions where I don't have to be looking over my shoulder or have to expect something's going to happen to you if you was to leave home, then it's going to be a waste of time to even try to protect you. You're always going to be in something.
Right.
Always. It's common sense, really.
And
It
that
really is.
and that's a good point. And I was going to bring that up too, is like most men aren't, I'm sure there's some out there, right, that like to, there's always some kind of toxic person out there. But I think the majority of men, the reason why they don't want their women going out like that is because they are a man and they know how men think. And when you go dressed up like that, or should I say dressed almost in nothing, because let's be real, most women go out in like a bra and thongs now, and then they'll wear like a sheer dress over it and call it dressed up. He's trying to protect you from other men because he knows what men are like, especially when they're under the influence. He knows what can
Right.
happen. So he's literally just trying to protect you. Um, so and in the beginning of the video, I really liked how he touched on looks. Like, he doesn't just like beauty, he loves an intelligent mind too. And I think that's where a lot of women are going wrong today, is that they think just because they're pretty that it's enough. Well, I hate to
Right.
break it to you, but this beauty, it's temporary. Like, we're only going to
Mhm.
be young for a very short amount of time, and then we're stuck with we're going to age, and you're stuck with
Right.
that person. So you have to fall in love with something just aside from their outward appearance. And so it is extremely important for us to have an intelligent mind, because men look for that. When the looks fade, I still want him to love me for my mind. That's more of a compliment to me, if we're going to be real. I think it's so much more of a compliment for my husband to compliment the way that I think and my mentality, rather than say my beauty. And I know that may sound silly to some, and when I was younger, I it would have been backwards. But today, now where I'm at, like, I'm confident in the way that I look. I know that my husband finds me attractive, obviously. So I think for me, it's so much more of a compliment when he says, like, I love the way that you think. I think you have such a beautiful mind. Like, I love the way that the way your mind operates. Like that, I'm like, woo, like, thank you.
Right.
Like, thank you.
Right.
What an awesome compliment. Like, that
Yeah.
that is like mwah, to me. That is the chef's kiss.
Right. I feel you on that. All right, so let's continue. Really, Lewis, I have like a little bit left. Probably won't play the full thing,
Okay.
but as it goes.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, let's get to the next part. Ladies, do you have the right mindset? Agreeable, cooperative, and smart? Are you fit, disciplined, dedicated, and discerning? The next one, a most wanted woman, a high demand woman, is feminine. It's not conditional femininity. It's not this off and on, up and down femininity that so many women today seem to toggle back and forth between. The femininity is constant. She's feminine. And how do you know if a woman is constantly feminine? Well, because she's affectionate. That means publicly and privately. She shows affection. A woman that is affectionate looks at you with soft eyes and a warm heart and a slight smile. She looks at her children. She looks at children in another way with warm eyes. Affection. And this is where so many modern women are falling short, because you guys, you ladies, do not know how to show feminine affection. This is not throwing that thing back. It's not that. Feminine affection. When a man is greeted with feminine affection, he feels it. There's no question when you're in the presence of feminine affection. There are many women who can look the part, yet they don't have the emotive ability to physically, to feminine, to be affectionate in a feminine way. Next, you know a woman is feminine if she is accommodating. This is not a yes woman. This is not a whatever you like. But this is a okay, okay. A woman that's accommodating, okay, give you an example, a sexual example. You know a woman that's accommodating? When you sleep and you land to the side, and a woman who's accommodating, and when you touch on her leg and she arch her back a little bit and toot it up a little bit, and then she moves her leg in a certain way so you can slide that thong up just right over there, and she just, yes, come on, come on, come on, man. That's an accommodating woman. This is morning sex. Her breath is going that way, your breath is going this way, but she knows exactly how to accommodate. Daddy touch. She's like arch, black, thump, wow, a comma, damn date. Accommodating.
I don't need a cookbook.
Yeah, she's accommodating. Your requests are not burdens to her. You like waffles? She learns how to make waffles. You like French toast? She learns how to make French toast. You whatever you like, she does it because that's part of the feminine, being feminine, affectionate and accommodating. Now, a lot of women will say that they're feminine, but they're not. They're very low on affection, and accommodating is a different type of agreeableness. Okay, holla, holla. Ja Rule, that chick I talked to, she was not feminine. No affection, not accommodating at all. Feminine, unconditional feminine, affectionate, accommodating, and she has a subtle sophistication. Subtle sophistication. This is the kind of woman that can be in Chanel, or she can be in a sundress and still carries herself with the same level of class, dignity, and respect. Subtle sophistication is not pretentious. Subtle sophistication looks directly ahead. Its nose isn't up. It ain't feeling itself. Subtle sophistication makes people in a lower socioeconomic class, people that are lower than her, feel comfortable in her presence. Subtle sophistication is humble.
What do you think on that?
I like that.
Right.
I like that, and sophistication too. Huh? I'm gonna put my earbuds back in. I keep switching back and forth because my volume on my phone like isn't working the best, but my phone's also. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Subtle sophistication. I like that, and I'm gonna kind of I guess dive in a little deeper too. Like I like how he said. Uh-oh, I'm hearing a little bit of an echo. Can you hear that?
Not on my side.
Okay, maybe it's just me. What, sweetie? Hold on one second. What? You want to get down? Can we pause real quick, Lo?
Yep.
That's what a feminine woman is. There may be other things, but at its core, she's affectionate, accommodating, with a subtle sophistication. These are some characteristics of most wanted women across the board. Any race, any place, any time, any season, any reason. You don't have to go looking hard. You don't have to go looking far and wide. Women like this are highly sought after, in high demand, typically snapped up quickly. Next, what else are some characteristics of women in the most demand? You guys, are we on board with all this?
Yes.
I told you, told you. Yep, told you. Get the likes up. All right, when the likes get up, we get the chat back on. High demand women. They're naturally nurturing. Naturally nurturing. I didn't say they're natural nurturers, they're naturally nurturing. What does that mean? They have this carefree, but yet disciplined, dedicated, and discerning side, but they're still kind of carefree. That means that's the not rigid part of them. There's a carefree, loving, easygoing nature, a lightness about a woman who's naturally nurturing, meaning that everything that I've discussed earlier is not an imposition. You need to be affectionate and accommodating, not a bother. Good. It's not what she takes pleasure and pride in being a woman. This is a woman that on Mother's Day celebrates mothers, but on Father's Day, it offends her that women celebrate fathers because being a woman in her mind is the best thing in the world. She doesn't want to be anything other than that. It's not a scarcity mentality to where I got to take from men, I got to chop this down in order to build this up. A naturally nurturing woman has an abundance mindset, meaning if you spend most of your time in fear, scarcity, and lack, you're not a natural nurturer.
Mm.
A natural nurturer looks at a dying plant and says, I'm going to bring it back to life.
Mhm.
A naturally nurturing woman looks at something that's broken, baby bird wing, whatever. We're not talking about broken men because that's the discernment. She looks at something that needs to be fixed or repaired and asks the question, should I? Not can I, should I? Mindset, fit, feminine, naturally nurturing. These are some of the characteristics of women who are in the most wanted women, the highest demand women. You ask a man who is a thorough, put together man, and I can almost guarantee you that the woman he's looking for, the woman he truly desires, wants, desires, and is seeking for, has these characteristics. It's not about being an 8, 9, or a 10. Again, the most important thing is mindset. Fitness, discipline, dedication, and discernment. Femininity, I mean, not femininity. She's feminine, affectionate, accommodating with a subtle sophistication, naturally nurturing and carefree, loving, easygoing lightness about you. Now, you will often find that women like this, people are like, how do these women get these high value men who are just average looking? They got this. They got this and they got them early on. But and women like this don't wait. Women like this are wanting to get on with their life. They're not saying, "Ooh, I need to go to the highest bidder or the tallest dude or the best looking guy." They get on and off because these women want to get on into the important part of life, which is friends, family, network, and community. So every year behind a job, earning a paycheck is making a living. These women want to get on with making a life.
Yeah, he said a mouthful there.
This is a lot of good stuff.
I'm telling you, like, and this is a lot of his videos are like that. And it's crazy because he had originally was just like, if you go to the back years of his content, he was always focused on men, what men got to get done and what they have to do, you know, the hygiene, all types of stuff. He was talking to them. He would have the one-on-ones with them when they would call in. He would tell them about themselves, you know, and it's crazy that he blew up and people got angry of him blowing up because he started to mention women. And it was all based on that one call. That woman came in and that video went viral, average at best. Maybe there'll be another time that you'll be able to see that clip or something. So you can see
Right,
why
right.
everybody was thinking that he was being mean and it's the way he say things and all the excuses they make today on why they don't let men speak. But he said everything there that is necessary for women to understand today. A lot of young girls are growing up not knowing this. And this is what's supposed to be taught in our homes already. You know, so like he was really, they call him a godfather, but he was a father figure to not just the Black community. I think a lot of communities, all different women from all different races had called in on this show, you know, and
I'm
spoke to ask questions.
I'm enjoying his content. I really am. And like as a woman, I listen to this and I don't think I say this just because, you know, obviously we can relate to what he's saying because we do our best to be these kinds of women, but just the way he's saying everything, I think there's a lot of humbleness in how he's saying it. There's a lot of like straight to the point, and it's all rooted in truth. And truth sometimes is heavy, sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's not always an easy topic of discussion. But just the way he's breaking everything down and the way he's kind of wrapping it all together, especially towards the end of this video, I think is beautiful. And I had another point and I think I lost it.
No worries,
Oh,
but yeah.
like just his points in general, like the nourishment aspect of it. It's like, you know, something as simple as bringing a little plant back to life. And I can relate to that. Like, I really can. And it's like, our children are watching us do those things. Like the one day I went to CVS, I needed something silly. Like I needed like mascara or something. And I went to CVS and there was this dying money tree there. And I felt so bad for it. And I was like, I'm buying it. It was like a $20 dying money tree. And I bought it and it was like a year ago. And I brought it back to life because I love plants. Like
Awesome.
it's simple things. You know what I mean? I think that there's a lot of simplicity to this, but women just try to complicate the crap out of everything. Like my children
Right.
are going to watch me do that. My children are going to watch me sit there and speak life into a little plant. To some people, they may hear that and think that's silly, but to me, there's a lot of discipline that goes into that. There's a lot of care and nourishment that goes into that. I don't just do it because I love plants. I do it because my little girls are watching me do that. I'm teaching them what loving something looks like. I'm teaching them what nourishment looks like. I'm teaching them what discipline looks like. I'm teaching them what your mind can do. And it's just
Right.
something as simple as watering a plant and trying to bring it back to life. It's as simple as trying to fix one of their toys that they broke and watching me repair it with the patience and sitting there and trying to get it back for them. You know, this man speaks a lot of facts, and I really am disappointed that I never heard of him that I never heard of him, that I've never watched any of his videos, because I love everything that he's saying. And it's valid, and people need to hear this, especially the women who listen to this and feel convicted. You're the ones that are supposed to be really, that's what that content is for. Like, when you're feeling that
Right.
conviction, if that man says something and what he's saying is angering you, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, that's conviction. He's angering you for a reason, and it's because something that he said doesn't add up with how you're living your life, and you feel convicted, and you
Right.
feel like he's pointing fingers. He's not. He's actually saying these things because he's trying to benefit you to the best of your ability. He's saying, you know, rather than selling your body on the internet, like, why don't you just put a little bit of love into yourself, care about yourself, put some discipline, some nourishment into yourself, and it's going to change who you are, and you're going to start attracting the men that you always wanted. You're going to have that family that you always wanted. You're going to have that community base that you've always wanted. And all it does is start with with some change. And I know it's possible for women to change because I did it. Right. So, like,
Right.
I think it takes a woman with capability and with like mental fitness that he keeps speaking of to be able to comprehend those things and take it in a way where you don't get angered by it. You allow it to influence you in a way like, okay, I want to be a woman that he's speaking of. Like, I want to be like that. Take what he's
Right.
saying and run with it. He's not sitting here and
Mhm.
trying to belittle you. He wants to see women thrive. He wants to see our community here thrive. And that's why he's doing these things. And that's why I love what he's saying. I love it.
Oh man, you hit everything on the nail with that one, because that's exactly what he was doing. You know, a lot of people didn't take his message as something that was to help, like you were saying, nourish. And what it is he was a big advocate for marriage. That's the thing. He was trying to make marriages work again, something that has been lost in society for a very, very long time. It should never have been. And he's honestly fixed people's marriages. He's even though my husband constructed me, and I truly believe I am the mold of what he wanted me to be when we met. You know, I was in my early 20s when we met, and I'm now 36 years old, for anybody that didn't know. You know, so you know, and I'm getting old, but it's my husband's molded me to exactly what he needed me to be in his life, and him introducing me to Kevin Samuel's content as well helped me continue to with his mold. You know, because us women, we can become flaky sometimes. We can get in our feelings, we can get emotional, we can get, you know, offended on things that our husband tell us because we've been around them for some time. So we think that, okay, now he's picking on me because he knows me. He knows I'm not trying to do this. He knows I'm not trying to do that. And then it starts arguments. When sometimes it's crazy because it's just like children. Women's minds have to hear from others as well to confirm what they're supposed to do. And that's why the community itself is supposed to be built where everybody has a like mind and a like goal, you know, a common goal, because then we don't ever get misdirected. We always have everybody, okay, if we get frustrated with our husbands and we talk to the wife next door who's married in the same type of structure that ours is, she's going to say the same thing. Yeah, I get frustrated like that too. And this is what we do. And this is how I make sure I don't frustrate my husband with it. You get the reassurance of being part of what you're supposed to be, you know, and starting to move on with, okay, taking back off your emotions. And when you have that type of circle around you, your marriages always thrive that way. You know, because men, they can get together and they're usually talking about everything else that's not has to do with marriage. It's usually work or some sports, anything, you know, that interests in them. And us women, we always, when we talk about our relationship. We talk about what we're doing now. We talk about our children, you know. So when you're around these circles that are like yours, you're always going to be reassured of what you're doing is right and how to handle the times you think that it's wrong, because it might not be wrong, you know. And that's the community. That's the community that we need. And that's what he was trying to rebuild, you know. And so all these women that kept calling in and was asking him for advice, he was just letting them know the truth. It doesn't have to come off as so sweet and cuddly. Like we always want our words from men to come off to be so sweet and what my husband calls them sweet nothings in the ear all the time. We want to be told something sweet that doesn't have to have any value or fact in it, when we can be told the truth, no matter how blunt it is, and take it as just like the sweet nothings, you know, and actually work with that knowledge. My husband's always been very honest with me, and he's never sugarcoated anything. When he had an issue with me, hey, look, we're not going to do that. All right. You're not going to say that, or this is not going to happen. And I appreciate that. Instead of saying, okay, well, baby, because that's why women take advantage of those types of men today. When you try to chivalrize your way into winning them over, that doesn't work with us. That's not how we're built. We always want to see strength in our men, even when we want them to be soft, even when we want them to be. So I honestly think his videos was the nicest that where you can get it from a man, because he wasn't really, even when he was calling out certain things on women because they had attitudes, he was still speaking the truth.
Right.
And there's many clips out there that you can see where they're like, oh, he was being mean because a girl would call in and she would probably say something, he could tell she was overweight, she probably has 4 baby fathers and stuff, and he'll just be brutally honest with her, and now all of a sudden she's offended, and he's this and he's that, and they want to call him this and they want to call him that, and they want to tarnish his name when he's honestly telling the truth. Aren't you 400 pounds? Okay, and you do have 4 baby fathers, so he's not lying. He's
You
just
know what I just thought too, as you're saying all this, like everything you're saying makes sense, but it's like, and it's the truth. Like women do want to be coddled and they want to be talking to real softly. But why is that? Because we have our feminists out there who say that they're equivalent to men. And so if you're
right,
equivalent to men, then you should be able to take it like a man. And when you take
right,
it like a man in terms of, if someone's sitting here telling you the real raw truth, you can't sit here and cry because someone's being honest with you, or you can't sit here and get upset with someone just because they said the right things but they didn't say it in the manner of what you intended them or wanted them to say it in. And it's like, so everything, like if you've noticed, everything that they stand for or that they say completely like contradicts itself in some area. It's like you can't have it both ways. And why do women expect to be so gentle? Like, I don't expect my husband to be gentle with me 24/7. Like, yeah, obviously there's times in our relationship where I could really use some of his tenderness or a little bit of extra attention. But like when there's something that he's critiquing me on, I'm not going to sit here and expect him to baby me. And I'm a grown ass woman. I don't expect my husband to sit here and baby me all the time. That's not who I am as a woman. That's not who I am personally. Um, so it's just, I don't know, I kind of found that to be interesting. Is like women want to be treated equivalent to men, but yet they get upset when they are treated equivalent or equally.
exactly.
Right, like to the
Exactly.
women who are calling in and asking this guy for advice, like he's not calling you up and saying, hey, I know you got 4 baby daddies and you're 300 pounds. Like, no, they're calling him, asking him for advice, and then they're getting upset with how he's saying it or what he's saying. Well, then maybe you shouldn't have called the man to begin with if you can't take it. So women, our
Exactly.
personalities are a lot different from men's. And that's okay. But like we can't expect them to cater to our every little move. Like I just think it's silly. And that was just kind of something that I was thinking of as you were speaking.
Yep, and you're right. You're right, because with what it is that the society that we have now is they think that they are supposed to be able to be men without having to do what men do,
Mm.
and that's that's where they were told to lie. That's sort of total lie. If you want to be in a position of a man, then yeah, you're going to have to take that full responsibility that a man has to take as well. That's the type of equality that y'all scream for. Y'all wanted every right a man can have, but yet you don't want to you don't want to put in forth any effort that it takes to actually be a man. You don't want the responsibility that it takes to be a man, and you also still want to maintain the role of a woman while being a man. And it's just, you can't do that. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah,
But
it's delusional.
I'm so happy you had a chance to see at least one of his full videos that he has out here. I think there's going to be some that I'm going to find in the future for you that is going to be the ones that people, of course, nitpick about when he speaks to other women. Some call-in ones that you can get a good
That'll be fun.
idea of as
That
well.
yeah,
Yeah,
that would be fun. That'll be for like one of
yeah.
our days where we're not as serious and we kind of want to just chip back and giggle and make commentary.
Definitely. But I enjoyed that. I'm glad you had a chance to see it. Everybody who else that don't know who Kevin Samuels is that's watching our channel has a good idea now. I would suggest y'all do subscribe to his channel as well. Even though that he has passed, they are still putting up content. And of course, a lot of content creators like ourselves actually use his content as well. So you can pretty much follow the whole manosphere, and they'll probably have some videos of him as well. But do you
Yeah.
have any final words for today?
I
Christina?
don't. Aside from, thank you for introducing me to his content. I think that that man had a brilliant mind, and I think that he was definitely on to something. And I wish that he could have been around longer. Um, to be able to instill this in more people. And I can only hope that more men watch him and that they're inspired by what he's doing, and that there's men out there that say, you know what, I'm gonna pick up that baton and I'm gonna do the same thing. Because that's what we
Right.
need as a society right now. We need strong men to reel us back in. And it's gonna be a difficult process. And obviously we women, us as women, have to help along the way. But we need strong people in general, like this man that we presented the world with today, or our channel with today. We need more people like him. It was extremely inspiring. I didn't take anything that he said the wrong way. I think everything that he said was right on it. And I think he knows what a woman is more so than what most women know what they are in
Right.
today's generation.
Yep. Sad and true at the same time.
Yeah, it's for
Same
real.
time.
But no, I had a lot of fun today. This is a lot of fun. I enjoyed all of it, the whole video.
All right. Well, I hope everybody else enjoyed this video as well. Like I said, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll try to drop two videos a week for you guys. Keep this channel going. Don't forget to follow my Instagram, Lessons of a Housewife, if you don't already do. And go ahead, Christina, with your Facebook and Instagram as well.
Yeah, so guys, you can follow me. I'm trying to build up my Instagram. I'm going to try to get some clips out there so we can kind of advocate for our channel here a little more. I would love to get some clips and to just, broadcast them on my Instagram to kind of lure people over to here. But yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. Just like, I think it's just Christina Mungavin. Like, got to think about that for a second. And then to anybody who's in the recovery community, or anybody who's trying to put down substances, or maybe you just want to go sober a little bit and see how it is for you. My husband and I are on Facebook, and we're on a page called Keep Your Foot on the Gas podcast. It's based in California, but the guy asked us, who runs, that whole thing, to come on and a couple times a week and just to discuss what we go through. It's a pretty big page. I mean, there's a couple million people on there, so it's not like it's a tinier page. I mean, it's a nice page. There's
Nice.
a lot of, yeah, I mean, it's got great content, great people on there. We're not the, oh, thank you. I see you. We're not the only people on there. Normally he has someone going live every day. So my husband and I normally stick to Fridays. What we do is we just talk about recovery. We talk about our experiences when we were out there. And now we just talk about, how we go through life on a basis of just being sober. Here.
Awesome. Yes.
But thank you
Make
for
sure
letting
y'all
me put
check
that
that
out there. I
out.
appreciate it.
No problem. Every chance we get, we want all support of the Loah Pod, Lessons of a Housewife, IG, Lessons of a Housewife, YouTube, to definitely support my co-host here, Christina McGavin, my enlightened housewife as well. We are going to start creating an Instagram that's dedicated to the Loah Pod. So y'all will have some clips and everything as well, some reviews there that will be generating within this year. All right. And thanks again. I hope y'all enjoyed. And y'all have a good night.
Bye, guys. Bye, Lo. I'll talk to you soon.